Part 20.7, Surah Taha. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Sufi Essence with Hammad Syed. The spiritual journey is not a solitary expedition but a path paved with divine grace and nurtured by profound supplication. In our last discourse, we left Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, at the very cusp of his monumental mission. Having been armed with two powerful signs and commanded to confront the ultimate tyrant, Pharaoh, the verses culminated in his beautiful and poignant prayer for inner strength and the expansion of his heart, a request for a spiritual capacity equal to the magnitude of the task ahead. As we continue to unravel this sacred conversation, we find that Moses' supplication does not end there. It is a comprehensive and deeply human plea that moves from the internal preparation of the soul to the external necessities of the mission. It is a masterclass in how to ask of Allah, a model of humility and wisdom that every seeker can and should emulate. These verses reveal that even a prophet, a man chosen by Allah for direct communication, understands his own limitations and turns to his Creator for every aspect of success. He asks for ease, not because he is lazy, but because he knows that true ease comes only from divine assistance. He asks for help with his speech, a profound act of humility that acknowledges a personal weakness. And he asks for a companion, knowing that a righteous journey is best undertaken with a brother in faith. From a Sufi perspective, this supplication is a profound lesson in reliance tawakkul. It teaches us that to rely on Allah is to ask for His help in all things, both the great and the seemingly small. It shows us that true strength lies not in self-sufficiency, but in the complete and total submission to the will of ArRahman. The sincerity and detail of this prayer are a testament to Moses' immense love and profound trust in his Lord. Kanzalaman, Quran, Taha, 20:31-35:31, and strengthen my back with him, 32, and make him a sharer in my task. 33, so that we may remember you much. 34, and remember you often. 35, indeed you have been watching us. The first of these pleas, and make my task easy for me, is a simple yet deeply meaningful prayer. The task ahead of Moses, peace be upon him, was arguably the most difficult ever given to a prophet, to challenge a powerful and arrogant ruler who had enslaved his people and claimed divinity for himself. Moses, peace be upon him, did not ask for the task to be removed, but for it to be made easy. This distinction is crucial. It is a recognition that the difficulty of the task itself is a part of the divine plan, a crucible for spiritual growth and a test of faith. The ease he sought was not the absence of challenge, but the divine grace that would enable him to face the challenges with inner calm and outer effectiveness. It is the peace that comes from knowing that the one who commanded the task is also the one who will see it through. This is the very essence of spiritual reliance. To place the outcome in Allah's hands, and to trust that He will smooth the way. The Sufi understands that the journey of suluk, the spiritual path, is filled with trials. But true ease comes not from escaping them, but from facing them with the unwavering support of the divine. The apparent hardship is but a veil for an inner ease that transcends all difficulty. The prayer then turns to a more specific and personal request in verses 27 and 28. And untie the knot of my tongue, so that they may understand my word. History and tradition tell us that Moses, peace be upon him, had a speech impediment, a knot in his tongue, perhaps from an incident in his childhood. This part of his prayer is a beautiful act of humility. He is not just asking for his words to be clear. He is asking Allah to remove a personal, physical weakness that might hinder his mission. This teaches us that it is not a sign of weakness to acknowledge our flaws and turn to Allah for help. In fact, it is a sign of immense spiritual strength. The ultimate goal of this request is not for his own benefit, but for the sake of the message, so that they may understand my word. The purpose of his eloquence is to serve the truth and to make the divine message accessible to a rebellious people. This is a vital lesson for all who engage in dua, the call to Islam. The focus should never be on our own rhetorical skill or intellect, but on the clarity and effectiveness of the message itself. The ability to articulate the truth, to move hearts, and to convey ilm is not a human talent, but a divine gift that must be sought with a humble heart. The Sufi also understands this on an inner level. The knot in the tongue can be a metaphor for the heart's inability to express divine truths due to the rust of the ego. The nafs. The prayer is a request for Allah to untie the knots of the heart, so that the words spoken may be filled with sincerity and divine light, and thereby understood by the hearts of others. The supplication concludes with a plea for companionship and support in verses 29 and 30. And appoint for me a minister from my family, Haroon my brother. This is a testament to the wisdom and self-awareness of Moses, peace be upon him. He does not ask to be the sole bearer of this immense responsibility. He recognizes the need for a helper, a minister who can share the burden and strengthen the mission. His choice of his own brother, Haroon, peace be upon him, shows an appreciation for the bond of family and the trust that is built over a lifetime. This is a powerful lesson in leadership and companionship. A true leader knows when to delegate and when to seek assistance. The divine mission is not meant to be a solo act. It requires the strength and support of a righteous community. The bond between Moses and Haroon, peace be upon them, is one of the most powerful examples of fraternal support in the Quran. Haroon's eloquence and spiritual insight were the perfect complement to Moses' strength and directness. The fact that Moses, peace be upon him, asked for a specific person, his brother, shows his deep reliance on Allah, trusting that Allah, in his boundless knowledge, knew the perfect partner for him. The response to this prayer is not narrated in these verses, but it is a central theme in later parts of the Quran. Allah answers Moses' peace be upon him prayer in its entirety, appointing his brother Haroon, peace be upon him, as his partner in prophethood. This immediate and complete acceptance of a prophet's supplication is a profound comfort and reassurance to all who pray. It teaches us that no sincere request is too small or too specific for the Lord of all creation. The very act of asking is an act of worship, a declaration of our utter dependence on Allah. The prayer of Moses, peace be upon him, is not just a request for success. It is a profound articulation of his spiritual readiness, his humility, and his complete reliance on ArRahman. It stands as a beacon for all who embark on a path of truth, reminding us that with a pure heart and a sincere plea, all things are made possible through the grace of the divine. Hadith. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Dua supplication is worship." Tirmidhi Hadith 3372. This hadith beautifully summarizes the profound spiritual lesson from Moses' peace be upon him supplication. Moses' prayer was not just a list of requests. It was a continuous act of worship, a living, breathing expression of his relationship with Allah, by turning to his Lord for inner strength, eloquence, and a companion. He was demonstrating his complete surrender and dependence, which is the very essence of worship. This teaches us that every time we raise our hands and ask of Allah, we are engaging in a blessed act of worship that strengthens our connection to our Creator, regardless of whether our specific request is answered immediately or not. The act of asking itself is a reward, a spiritual elevation. Let us now supplicate, drawing from the profound lessons of these verses, as asking Allah to grant us a deeper understanding and to guide our every step. Ya Allah, make us among those who turn to you for all their needs, both great and small. Tie the knots of our tongues and hearts, so that we may speak the truth with clarity and sincerity. Grant us righteous companions who will assist us on the path of your obedience. Make our tasks easy for us, not by removing the challenges, but by granting us the inner fortitude to overcome them with your grace. Accept our prayers as an act of pure worship, and bless us with the peace that comes from complete reliance on you. May Allah illuminate your heart and mind with the light of this divine ilm. May He make your channel a beacon of guidance for all who seek spiritual clarity and truth. May your efforts be a source of immense reward, and may you be granted the highest stations of paradise. May the peace and blessings of Allah always be upon you and your loved ones. May He grant you unwavering steadfastness on the path of truth. And may your work be a testament to His magnificent names, ArRahman and ArRahim. Ameen.